Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to, where are we? Gosh, it's Saturday. A very warm welcome to Saturday Night Live. And as always, I'm going to be here with you to see out the old day and to see in the new and to just generally catch up with you fabulous people. So, how have your days been, please? What have you been eating? What have you been up to? Has it been a good day, a bad day, or an indifferent day? How did you sleep last night? Yeah, tell me anything that you care to. I want to hear all about it, and so do all of your friends in the community. Oh, yeah. Now then, what news have we got to discuss today? Well, Charles Leclerc took his first pole position in Monaco, didn't he? The home boy in his hometown. What else? Russia have bombed a Ukrainian DIY shop and killed some people and hurt some more people. And oh, yeah, I know what I wanted to talk about today. Um, Electric vehicles, in particular, Chinese electric vehicles. Um, Now, did you know? Did you know that electric vehicles, particularly the Chinese ones, they are crammed full of spyware. Um, and So that includes, they have cameras which will monitor your body functions. They can tell if you're happy or sad. They can tell if you're hungry. They can tell if you're sleepy. All of these sort of things. And all of that information is fed back to the Chinese car manufacturer. And from there, it is fed back to the Chinese government. Something else. Let's imagine that you Bluetooth your telephone to your electric car, or you plug your phone in to charge it. Everything that is on your phone, your messages, your contacts, absolutely everything will also be fed into the car's brain, fed back to the company, and then fed back to the Chinese government. Is that something that worries you? And I keep saying Chinese, but it's true of all EVs, because if you didn't realize, the next world war, if there ever is one, is going to be fought. The front line will be data and possession of data. So every country in the world is on a mission to get as much data out of you as possible, whether that's your loyalty card at the supermarket, whether it's your smartphone that listens to everything that you say, that logs every search that you make, that looks at everything that you look at on your telephone and feeds it back to somebody somewhere. Yeah, all of these things are going on, and they're going to become more and more prevalent. So, is that something that we just have to accept and live with? Or does it make you want to drive older cars that don't spy on you and feed your personal information back to foreign governments? And do you want to go back to using an old non smart mobile telephone so that your life and the contents of your private life are not in the possession of some unknown whatever? It's quite a scary thought, isn't it? And I thought we could have a chat about that. Now then, who have I got with me tonight? Jimmy Quinn is the first cab off the rank. Good evening, Boaty and all. Good evening to you, Jimmy. The lovely Sophie is here. Hi, everyone. How are we all? Hello, Boaty. How are you? How's your week been? And what have you got for supper this evening? Good questions, Soph. My week has not been too bad, thank you. My day has not been too bad. Supper this evening, I've got good old staff curry. Haven't had it for a couple of days. Really looking forward to it tonight, and it's a particularly good one, and that will be served with. Oh, I've got pilau rice tonight, not white rice, and that's not through choice. We just ran out of white rice by the time I got to get my supper together. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Lunch this morning, this afternoon even, was Oh, it was those chicken wings that I showed you last night. They were absolutely delicious. Had them with some nice fresh salad. There is a picture in. Where's there a picture? Oh, it's not in our Facebook group. I put it in the. I put it in the singles community instead. So those of you who are members of singles might have seen it there, or it'll be there if you care to have a look. Oh, other exciting news of the day. Uh, our own Captain Mustard, uh, in his Project Nigel channel, guys, overtook me at some point yesterday or the day before in terms of subscribers. So his channel had more subscribers than mine. But I'm delighted to report that due to a very successful video today, I have overtaken him and I am back where I belong in front on the subscriber count. So that's jolly good news, isn't it? I'm sure you would agree. Barry is here, or Karen, or possibly both of them, and says, "Good evening, guys. Hi, Soph, and hi, JQ. Peter P is with us, says, "Good evening, all." The lovely Simone is here. Good evening, everyone. Oh, and Simone spent the day tinkering and had garlic bread and cheese with chicken for dinner. I always, well, oh, I'm going to have a drink. I've earned this tonight, darlings. Looking forward to this. Of course, I want to hear your dinner news. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I want to hear about all of them. Oh, that's very nice indeed. Russ is here, Dino Dad. Hello, all. This seems a bit late. No, normal time, Russ? Normal time? It's always been 11:30 on a Friday and Saturday. The reason for that is that I can't start at 11 because I don't get home by 11 o'clock. Normally on Friday and Saturday, I'll get home about 20, 25 past 11. So tonight is a later one. Now, when I started doing these Friday and Saturday nights, I intended to stop at midnight, as I normally do, but I have been known to roll over a little bit. Simone has posted a little short video that we might all want to go and have a watch. Oh, Matron is here. Evening all. Just removed myself from my live stream to join you all over here. Well, jolly decent of you, Matron. You needn't have. I don't mind a little bit of competition. We could have a live stream off, but it's lovely to have you here, of course. And I'm sorry that I miss your live streams due to being at work. Otherwise, I would be glued to them. I will catch up on it tomorrow. Of course, I will. Andrew Buttigieg is here. I've a spot Boaty, of course. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone in chat. And it was a very enjoyable live stream by was Matrons, according to Andrew. Oh dear, TC's been playing up. Oh, where did we go? Oh, right, yes. Oh, there we are. Oh dear. Oh gosh. The M11 is with us. I've just woken up, says the M11, from a 3-hour nap. I wasn't feeling very happy earlier, which is most unlemon-like. So I hope the combination of a long nap and a bit of Boaty picks me up a bit. Good evening, all. Oh, sorry to hear you're having un jour sans, as the French say, literally a day without. A day when, for whatever reason, you're a little bit under the weather. The world seems unfair. Things seem impossible and insurmountable. We all have days like that. Keep the old head above water. That's the trick. And something will happen at some point to make you feel a little bit more optimistic about life in general and the future and the state of your socks and your underwear. I mean, a well-stocked sock and underwear drawer is a wonderful thing, isn't it? It gives you a feeling of certainty in life. And on that subject, I invested in some kitchen rolls today. It occurred to me yesterday that I'm just about to get pinged on what? Oh, a double ping, darlings! How exciting is that? Is this going to be something? Oh, we'll look at that in a minute. Right, well, yeah, I bought some kitchen roll, darlings. It occurred to me yesterday. I just noticed that I haven't had any kitchen roll for the last 5 years, and I thought, well, a kitchen isn't a kitchen without kitchen roll, is it? So, well, or is it? Now, to me, let me demonstrate, darlings. Let me demonstrate. Now, to me, a kitchen isn't complete without one of these. Now, you might think that this is one of the M11 self-pleasuring tools for recreational purposes, but you would be wrong. It is a kitchen roll holder, a wooden one. And I'm going to do some live unboxing or unwrapping, to be more exact. And I'm going to put my kitchen roll on my kitchen roll holder. Now, I am very old. In fact, I'm almost dead. I'm in my late 70s. And I am of a generation that expects the kitchen to have some kitchen roll on a kitchen roll holder thingy. Or one of those posh ones that are like underneath your cupboardy wubbadies, and it hangs on there like a toilet roll. Oh, I'd love one of those. Haven't got one. I've got a freestanding one. So, feature number 3. Do you have one of these in your kitchen? And if you don't, I bet your parents did. And feature number 3A, what do you use kitchen roll for other than kitchen mopping up type scenarios? And I would imagine that the two obvious ones that we all use kitchen roll for are emergency toilet roll. Come on, be honest. You've all done it, haven't you? You've all done it. You've all had a Code Brown situation, or, Mr. Brown has appeared at reception, and you've sat down and got on with it without checking the old toilet roll situation. And suddenly you've found, oh dear me. Oh dear me, it's low tide at Paper Bay. What am I going to do? And, if you've got family members in the house, you might shout downstairs, "Oi, Horatio, throw me up a kitchen roll." Or if, like me, you live alone because you've got a poisonous personality, you're incredibly unattractive, and you smell like cabbage that has been boiling for just over 3 weeks, you will have to do the penguin. Oh, yes, darlings, we've all done the penguin, haven't we? Where, with your trousers and bloomers round your ankles and a dirty, unwiped body, you've got to do a shuffle somehow, possibly down the stairs, unless you live in a bungalow or something of that nature, possibly a maisonette, a single-story establishment, or you live in a multi-story establishment, but you've got a lavatory on the lower floor, or indeed on the same floor as the kitchen, which, let's face it, that's the upper floor in some houses, which seems a bit weird. But you have to do the old shuffle with your trousers and your things around your ankles to get the old kitchen roll, don't you? And you have to deploy that. And you curse yourself for having allowed yourself to run out of lavatory paper. Or is that a male-female thing? Because Boo, and probably all the others as well, but I specifically remember Boo. Boo was never comfortable unless she had about 300 rolls of lavatory paper in the lavatory paper cupboard. I'm a man. I wing it. I don't even think about getting loo paper until I'm down to my last roll. Literally the roll on the loo roll hangery thingy. So that's feature number 4. What stocks of loo roll do you like to keep? And the other use for kitchen roll, of course, checking your oil, wiping your dipstick. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. And shame on you for thinking that I did. I'm just going to put this back in the correct place now. There we are. And my kitchen now looks complete. It's a great disappointment to me that I cannot buy my kitchen roll of choice. I haven't seen it for years. Do any of you remember it? It was kind of whitey kitchen roll, but it had green pictures on it of, I can't remember what they were, but they were probably, I don't know, vegetables or something. I just remember that as being the ultimate homely kitchen roll. It made a kitchen look like a kitchen home. And if that's still available, then somebody please tell me where I can buy it, because the plain white is, well, it looks too much like toilet roll. It looks awful, doesn't it? I'd much rather have my old kitchen roll that I used to buy the last time I bought some, which is probably, I mean, I say I haven't had any for 5 years, but I'm pretty sure that the kitchen roll I did have, I'm pretty sure I bought it about 10 years before that. I think I bought it for the Welsh cottage, and then it went from there back to the marital home when I sold the cottage, and from there it would have gone to Farcorth after the divorce. And then from Farcorth, it would have came here to Windy Bum. So it might have not been in production or on sale for over a decade, for all I know. But there we are. There we are. I mean, white toilet roll looks okay in the bathroom, but white kitchen roll, the more I look at it now, it looks too clinical and wrong. And now I'm wishing that I hadn't bought it. I need different kitchen roll. I need it to be more homely and lovely looking. That's a massive disappointment to me now. And that's going to upset me. And it's going to put my feng shui in disarray, quite honestly, unless I get used to it, I suppose. Maybe I'll get used to it. But yeah, I do like to accessorize in terms of colours, and you can't do that with something that's plain white, can you? But there we are. Feature number 7. Do any of you use novelty toilet roll? Like toilet roll that's got crossword clues on it or something like that, or words of the day? God, this is a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. The next World War, says Andrew. Kiss your backside goodbye. The M11 says, I've heard Temu abuse data in the same way as the car thing you mentioned, so I will never buy from them. Yes, they do, but the worst in that regard is, of course, TikTok. Guys, don't use TikTok, for God's sake. Unless, use TikTok if you want to, but just be aware that TikTok scans everything that's on your computer or on your phone or on your Wi-Fi network, and it does get fed straight back to the Chinese government. That's what TikTok is there for, darlings. And that's why it's illegal in so many countries in the world. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That comes from direct first-hand knowledge. Chinese nationals have a different form of TikTok, and it's one without all of the malicious spyware on it. And I suppose they have that because the Chinese government spy on them in every other way imaginable, so they don't need to do it through TikTok. But I was warned by Chinese madam not to have TikTok on any of my devices. It's quite generally known. And yeah, I've heard that Temu operate the same thing. Basically, I mean, if anything, they try and cover it up. And they'll try and have different management companies or parent companies. But if you use any technology that is of Chinese manufacture, and that technology is capable of gaining your data in any way, it will be doing exactly that. And whether the company is associated with the Chinese government or not makes no difference. Bear in mind that how the communist China works these days. Companies don't have a choice. Any data that they can reap goes straight to the Chinese government. So there you go. Ross says, will the software know like a special fried rice with extra pork? Okay. I would worry about card information, says Sophie. Anything electric from the People's Republic is highly sus. It's more than highly sus. It's definitely It's definitely dodgy. I'll go back to driving my wheelbarrow, says Jimmy F500. My favourite, says Sophie, is the chicken and the curry. Matron said not had much food today. I bought bread for the first time in ages and had chicken, bacon, and avocado sandwich. Also, a few small dark chocolate marshmallows. That's it. Had a headache most of the day, so not felt hungry. Oh, hello, Mark. I'm motoring is here. Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Just got in from work. Well, hope you had a good shift. I couldn't eat a whole kitchen roll, says Ross. Well, I don't imagine you could. Bad Books had ribeye steak and shallots with asparagus for tea. Presumably, China make all Bluetooth connections. So if using a main phone with an old or new car, we are all fooked. Yeah, pretty much. Yes, says Andrew. You do need kitchen roll in your life, just like bog roll, but don't confuse the two. That's a nice kitchen roll tool, Boaty. Can I borrow it, says the M11. Yeah, do you want some pottering lube with that, Emmels? Honestly. Are there any instructions for that? Apparently not. The emergency bog roll that lives in the kitchen. See, it's not just me. I went years without kitchen roll, says Matron, and I don't have a holder. But then I realised that it was easier and quicker to clean up if I could just throw away the paper towel rather than having to rinse cloths. Says Jimmy F500, kitchen rolls. Very good for the mopping up of unexpected discharges. And I use the holder for something else. Matron says, our parents didn't have a holder. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your deprived childhood. My parents did. We might have been poor. Well, in fact, we were definitely bloody poor. But we did have a kitchen roll holder. So, you know, how bad can life be when you got one of those? But I do wish I could get that lovely kitchen roll with the green things on it. I clearly buy kitchen roll as an ornament, says Emmels, because whenever I buy it, I don't let anybody use it for fear it will run out and I'll need to buy more. So I generally use a wet cloth instead. I've taken to having a flannel. I have a flannel in the kitchen. Look, it's right here. Now, this is my kitchen flannel. I do intend to, 3, 2, 1. I'm so sorry. I do intend to replace it with one that's more color coded to the kitchen. In other words, burgundy. But I haven't found one as yet. So I've still got this. And the reason I've got 2 spare flannels is I had a different coloured bathroom at Farcorth. So I had different coloured flannels and whatnot for that bathroom. When I moved here, of course, now in Farcorth, I had, it was another very early 1970s bathroom, but it was that like avocado. Whereas, of course, here, I've got the early 1970s duck egg blue. So I had to have a flannel change, which meant I had 2 flannels. And I thought, well, I did think about using them as a bum flannel, of course I did. But what I decided to use them for is I use them as general cloths, and one is in the bathroom and one is in the kitchen, and I use them for cleaning and mopping up and anything else. And I find it incredibly useful. They're absorbent. They're easily washed and dried, and I just think they're splendid things. I do like a flannel, darlings. I like a flannel in the kitchen, and I like a flannel in the bathroom. And in a car, I like a microfiber cloth, color-coded to the car, either the exterior or the interior. Oh, yes. I do actually have color-coded microfiber cloth in all the cars because I'm a very, very sad man indeed. Oh, you can use it for nose blowing, says Peter P. Yes. Kitchen roll holder. Oh, the kitchen roll holds a good quantity of liquid, says Ross. That looks like my kitchen roll holder, says Andrew, but mine has no knob. Kitchen roll is good for picking dog poo up. Oh, Simone has a metal kitchen roll holder. Oh, there's posh. And I suppose it's probably more, I was going to say convenient, and that's hygienic is the word I was going for. God, honestly, honestly. Uh, Paddy Scrotter is with us and says, "Gosh, hi folks, I just woke up. Uh, hang on, what's that? Hang on. Me too, Simone, with a screw top. We must be proper posh." Oh, sorry, that's Ross. That's Ross saying that. I thought it was Matron who said you didn't have one. So I was confused, but it's not. It's Ross who's got one. Kitchen roll, says Matron, is great for emergency sanitary protection, wiping up coffee during the morning DTs, cleaning the loo seat. Oh, you have a loo in your kitchen, do you? Wiping old grease out of a pan, and that's just the first piece. I forgot about the old grease out of a pan. Yeah, it's really good for that. It is really good for that. And I'd completely forgotten about that, but I'm going to use it for that. And I'm going to enjoy using it for that. You know, I've bought 2 jumbo rolls of the stuff. I'm committed to using it now. Lunch tomorrow, darlings, if you're interested, is going to be 2 rather lovely chipolata sausages, some garlic and mustard chicken, mashed potato. I'm going for a mashed potato tomorrow. I'm going to make some stuffing. There'll be a Yorkshire pudding, and there will be some very fine whole French green beans. And anything else? That's about it, really, isn't it? With some gravy. That'll do the trick. Oh, and tomorrow I'm going to treat myself to a glass of Chablis because the lovely Paul, the very lovely Paul, who is, you'll have seen him comment here and there. He's a massive supporter of the channel, but he's also a regular customer in the restaurant. And he's a lovely chap, as is his brother and all of their friends. And they ordered a bottle of, they were in the restaurant tonight, darlings, and they ordered a bottle of Chablis. And our Chablis is a rather good Chablis. And they didn't finish it and they left it on the table. And I thought, well, bugger me, waste not, want not. So I popped the cork back in it and brought it home. So with my lunch tomorrow, I will be having a glass of Chablis, courtesy of Paul. So thank you very much and cheers in advance. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been years since I could afford a bottle of Chablis. Where did I get to? Ah, right, here we are. I buy toilet rolls in bulk, says Jimmy Quinn. I buy them 4 at a time. And if I could buy them 2 at a time or 1 at a time, I would. But toilet roll is one of the things that I can't remember the economic term for it, but it's one of the things that, in my mind, it's one of the last things. If your income decreased, it's one of the last things that you would change your buying habits on, because cheap toilet roll is such a miserable thing, isn't it, darlings? Such a miserable thing. Whereas your old Kleenex double velvet super quilted stuff is an absolute joy and pleasure to have hanging about in your bathroom. And I've always thought, no matter how poor I am, when it comes to buying bog roll, and in fact, I've never done a cost benefit analysis on this, but I wonder if you can make an argument that it's actually cheaper to use the good stuff because you can use less of it. That's interesting, isn't it? Or maybe I'm just trying to justify lashing out however much it is, £2.80 on the old really nice double velvet quilted stuff, rather than £1.80 on the. I mean, obviously, let's not get started on the stuff that we had in our school loos when we were all kids. That shiny. What the hell was that all about? Honest to God. I mean, talk about traumatizing a bloody generation. That stuff was terrifying. Oh, and there is a whole conversation to be had. It's a bit late now because it's just gone midnight, darling. But there is a whole conversation to be had. I know we've had it before, but you can never have it too often. Um, you know, pooing away from home. Are you for or against? I've had friends that carefully timed all of their bowel movements so that it always happened when they were at work. So they effectively got paid for having a nice old plop. Whereas me, I would do anything to avoid having to do that away from home. I mean, there's no place like home when it comes to having a nice hour and a half on the lavatory with a good book. You can't do that when you're in some cubicle at work and there's some guy next door to you who had a vindaloo last night. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Mine is red, so it's faster, says Simone. Kitchen roll paper blocks the toilet, Mr. Boaty, says Sharon Jojo. Does it? Why? 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 Delilah. Why would it? Why would it? It's no different in consistency to a good toilet roll. Maybe it's because if you use kitchen roll, you use too much of it. And too much of any paper will block the toilet. But I'm sure I've used kitchen roll without it blocking the toilet before. I'm sure I have. Of course, if you're one of these people that throws caution to the winds and use half a roll of whatever it is you use, and yeah, of course it'll block the loo. Mine is Chrome, says Jimmy Quinn. Denise, the lovely Denise, 7. And that is 7 spelt like River 7, not spelt by the number. And I would like to make that perfectly clear. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a public service announcement on behalf of Denise, 7, who goes on to say, I generally have 5 packs of 18 in reserve for the family. Well, bloody hell, 5 packs of 18. 5 packs of 18, leave it out. That's 90 bog rolls. I mean, have you got a family of 90 people, or have you got 2 kids and a husband and they've all suffered from permanent amoebic dysentery? 90 rolls. That's insane. Lord above. Can anybody beat that? Can anybody beat having 5 packs of 18 bog rolls in reserve? I'm still using my stocks of loo roll that I built up in lockdown, says Lord Stiff Upper Lip. Oh, God, yeah, is that in the great toilet roll shortage? Oh, I remember that. I have issues, says the M11, which means I simply cannot relax mentally or anally if I know I'm low on loo roll stock. Oh, dear. You see, that's a sentence that I never thought I'd say as a grown adult. I simply cannot relax mentally or anally. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We never covered that on my psychology course. Anal relaxation. I mean, I've covered it, in person, but that's a completely different story, innit? Innit, bruv? Oh dear. Oh, that's a good idea from Peter P. Pour some Vimto onto your roll for added colour. Oh, yeah, that would colour code it with the kitchen. Yeah, says Andrew. What was all of that bulk buying loo roll during COVID? Did everyone think they were going to shit themselves to death? Oh dear. TikTok is a dumpster fire covered in shit that's on fire, says Simone, who's clearly not a fan. Bad Book says Mrs. Books bulk buys bog roll. When the dog was a pup, he shredded 5 multi-packs. It filled the entire bathroom and hall, and all my fault, not the pups. Oh, and Russ says, he says as he looks at a Chinese-made iPad. Yeah, I know. The Chinese will be having a field day with Boaty's live stream, says the M11. I would never have dared do this when Madam was here. Wouldn't have dared, honestly. Uh, you might think I'm exaggerating, but we did live in a little bit of fear, especially when they came to the bloody door. That was really unexpected. It's all about intimidation, you know? So it's one thing bugging your phone to say, you know, we know where you are. But when they turn up to your door, bloody hell. Yeah, I would never have dared do this. Oh, hello, wine turd. Oh, embryonic wine turd there, darlings. So, what have you all got planned for tomorrow? For me, tomorrow will be all about the Monaco Grand Prix, Sunday lunch, and a nice glass of Chablis. And isn't that something to look forward to, darlings? It really is. And then I'm looking forward to Bank Holiday Monday, which will be a lovely yard day with the lovely mustard. And we're going to go canoeing or have a nice lunch. And I think the plan is we're really keen to start cooking on a Monday. So I think that one of the plans for Monday, we've got a few, is to start tidying up the caravan and get it ready and prepared and maybe try and get it level and stuff. I mean, really, I want to do it properly, get it level, get the electric hookup in. And then we could, with the electric hookup in, then we could, and we can get a gas bottle, clean up the cooking area, and then we've got a proper hob, because the hob does work, it just needs gas bottle. And if we got the electric hookup in, then we could go onto our Facebook Marketplace and get a cheap microwave, or better still, a tabletop oven. And then we'd have a hob and an oven. And on Mondays, we properly could cook. And the rule of thumb going forward is that when it's just the two of us, we will cook. When we have guests, it will be a takeaway. But I love the idea of us both cooking in the caravan, but we need to get the caravan sorted. You know, we can't cook with the caravan on a massive wonk because everything will just slide off the hob, won't it? And that's no good to man nor beast. So this Monday will be a takeaway because we're not yet prepared. And I'm really, really, really keen to get the Land Rover lunches started up again and do some outdoor cooking. And I'm still keen on the whole camping thing. I keep looking at tents and outdoorsy stuff. And I'm watching videos about Land Rovers and camping and all of that sort of thing. I really want to do it before I get too old and decrepit. I love the idea of wild camping. I watched a video last night where they took a couple of Land Rovers into the Brecon Beacons National Park, and they took it down a track that I know very, very well, very well. And they must have had permission, and they camped there for the night. And I thought, God, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. You know, in the Beacons or even here in the Peak District. You know, just the idea of going off the beaten track in your Land Rover with a tent. I so want to do it. I know I'll probably hate it and I'll be massively out of my comfort zone and all of that, but I want to scratch that itch. I keep watching videos about it. It's part of the reason why I bought a Land Rover, if I'm honest. And I'm determined that this year will not slip by without me doing something along those lines. I know money is an issue because you've got to buy a half decent tent. And what else do you need? You need, you see, I'm no expert on this. I've never been a campist. I've never been tenting. Well, not since I was a kid anyway. I've never been tenting when I'm responsible for stuff. So I know you need a tent. I think you need something called a sleeping pad. And then you need a sleeping bag, don't you? You need a table and a chair and something to cook on, but I've already got all of that. So that wouldn't be a problem. And that's probably all that you need, isn't it? I so want to do it. I so want to do it, and I really want to do the wild stuff. That's what would really appeal to me. Just being in the middle of nowhere in your tent, talking to you guys when it's the Blot Outdoor Show. That's what I want to do. I'd love to do that on a Monday night. Set in summer anyway. Set up tents somewhere remote and beautiful and talk to you lot when I'm absolutely out of my skull. I mean, he's built a successful channel on it. Do you remember? The longer term of you will remember it's probably much more than a year ago now. And I came onto a live stream and said, "You won't believe what I saw on a video last night." I watched a video by accident last night, I remember saying to you. And it's this guy, and he puts up a tent in the middle of a town somewhere, and he gets so drunk that he can't speak. And then he tries to cook a meal in a tent when he's absolutely off his face. He'd drunk like 6 pints of lager, a bottle of wine, and half a bottle of whiskey, and he's trying to cook. And one of you guys said to me, "Yeah, that's a Blot Outdoor Show. It's really good." And ever since then, I've been absolutely hooked. I want to do that. I want to be in it. And like I've said, he does two. He does the stealth urban camping. I would have zero interest in that. But he does the wild camping as well. And that I love. I love the idea of being out there in the peak on a summer's night, getting horrendously drunk and making YouTube content. Maybe then I'd have a channel as big as his. But there we are. Where was I? Ah, yes, that's right. My poos, says Baddy Scrotter, never give me anxiety. They just slip out the minute I sit down. It's like fresh breeze just floating through. Gosh, that sounds idyllic. A kitchen roll is the aroused version of the willy waving cloth, says Andrew. Oh, and the M11 is also very keen on Baddy Scrotter's description of his bowel movements because she says, "Barry, that's so romantic." It did sound romantic. Barry Scrotter, the only man who can make having a crap sound like a romantic love story. Oh, and M11 corrects Andrew and says kitchen roll is the poor man's willy waving cloth. Well, yeah, indeed. I'm sure that many of you will have had friends or perhaps even been the people in a council house where your napkin for dinner is a piece of kitchen roll. And if they're really posh, they fold it in half diagonally and put it by you on the right hand side of your knife. Bloody hell, I've forgotten about that. My first fiance's family did that. But that was when they were doing something posh. Honest to God, my first, bless them, lovely people. But they had chips with every meal unless it was a special occasion. And they ate every meal sitting on their settee with their food on a plate, on a newspaper in their lap, watching the television. Oh, God above, it was like the third world. Boaty asked Simone, "Have you ever had no choice but to use the cardboard loo roll tube?" No, I would never do that. I would use a flannel or a sock or a pair of underpants and I would wash them rather than use the cardboard loo roll thing. Oh, but the M11 says, "I know that feeling very well, Simone, in public toilets too." Dear God. I'm glad I woke up in time for this stimulating conversation. I must say, Emmels goes on. Simone says, "Baddy, I've been caught short many times. If you want to know, I have 3 descriptions of the times." Oh dear. How did we end up here, says Andrew. Sophie says, "Neil working until 1. Bless him. I know he's putting the hours in before you guys go away." Oh, Baddy Scratch says, "Yes, Boaty. I remember the 90s printed kitchen roll. I wish I could still get it." Dear, oh dear. My face flannel is duck egg blue, says Baddy Scratter. Well, I have 2, and they both are too. Oh dear. Oh, and Sophie goes on to say, also, I've only got one loo roll left. So good luck, Neil. I can't use microfiber cloth, says Simone. Feels like it's ripping my skin off. Mark on Motoring says, my grandparents had an avocado bathroom suite, and my parents used to have a burgundy one. What happened to all the colour? Only available in white these days. Good point. Yeah. I would love a burgundy bathroom suite. I would be very happy with that. Kitchen roll. Oh, Ross. Right. Kitchen roll, also good for covering very large spiders we have before you stamp on it. Oh, don't be doing that. Oh, and Sophie agrees. But Emils agrees with Simone and says, dry microfiber cloth stick to me. I tried to use one 2 Mondays back as my head throwing cloth. Head throwing cloth? But it didn't. Oh, I see. You're right. You're oh shit. That head throwing cloth. But it didn't work well because it wanted to stay velcroed to my head. Well, you're obviously a very positively charged lady. Oh, and Andrew's with me. Don't kill spiders. I mean, I suppose it is a bit different if you're in Australia and the buggers try to kill you. Yeah. Barry Scott says, I don't wipe. I have a bidet fitted with fallen angels' tears instead, and it's heavenly. Oh, I do like a bidet, I must admit. It's getting to that time of night, darlings, where the hiccups are kicking in and speech is becoming difficult. Also, I'm still really tired. I still haven't caught up on sleep the whole of this week. So, probably time to say good night, darlings, and we will reconvene whatever day tomorrow is. Is it Sunday? God, this week has flown, hasn't it? Or is it just me? Yay, say Simone. I hit 1,740 today. Well done, you. Roll on 2,000. Roll on the old 2,000. I remember the school tracing paper toilet roll. That was so cutting, says the M11. Oh, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. Oh, and everybody's talking about the tracing paper now. Oh, the moist bum wipes road again. Somebody bought me some moist bum wipes as a laugh, as a joke, taking the piss. And I loved them. The best gift I've ever had. I stuck with them and for ages and ages and ages. Oh, it's God, I don't know if they still do them. They were in a little plastic dispenser thing. And when it was empty, you could buy a refill thing that you put in the dispenser. You didn't have to buy the whole thing again. I think they were Andrex brand. Oh, I wish I still had those. What a thing of luxury they were. A lovely, moist bum wipe. Oh, tremendous. Oh, hello. John's popped in. Hey, Boaty. Hey, chat. Hope it's all good with you tonight. Never drop a microfiber cloth in wood shaving or sawdust. It's like a magnet. Clapper clack, says Barry Scrotter. Everybody's congratulating Simone, which is nice. Matron says kitchen paper is designed to not fall apart straight away in water. Loo paper is designed to be strong enough to wipe but disintegrate in water. And that's why kitchen paper can block a toilet. Well, thank you, Matron. You're the font of all knowledge. I think Boaty is a Chinese robot designed to learn all of our secrets. Sharon Jojo says the water board told me never put kitchen paper or wet wipes down the toilet. That's right, Jimmy Quinn. It was called Izal medicated toilet tissue paper or sandpaper. Simone says bum twitching like a rabbit's nose. Oh, kitchen roll blocks drains as well. Oh, well, there we are. Put them in the bin. That's the answer. Barry Scrotter says, Sharon, I worked for a water company. Now I put more wet wipes and kitchen roll down the loo. They've had enough money over the years to deal with it. Well, get you. We tend to stick up to 120. Mark, I'm motoring. We tend to stock up to 120 bog rolls, but in bulk as it doesn't go off. Plus, last time one person sneezed, 100 people shit themselves. Oh, God, yeah, in the old COVID days. Yeah. The females in Dino Towers, says Dino Dad, sit on the toilet, then realise there's no bug roll, then wake everyone up shouting for one. Yep, that sounds familiar. Simone is working tomorrow. Barry Scratter's doing nothing tomorrow. It's raining. Marco Motoring says you can't beat a bit of time on the throne. How else will the family know who the king is around here? Quote right. Matron says tomorrow I'm having a cat. I'm having a cat coming to stay for 3 nights, and I should think about getting some cleaning and tidying done, as I have a visitor coming on Thursday. And yes, it takes me ages to do housework. The M11 says I'm cleaning tomorrow to get it out of the way ahead of the following week. Plus, it's half term here next week, so I have various plans. Barry Scrotter, oil leaks, need a new water pipe for the car. Monday swimming, I'm getting fitter and more alcoholic day by day. Ross says, I've come to the sad conclusion that mustard is completely bonkers. So now he's going to boggening or something. I like doing my doings on company time, says Andrew. I stack loo rolls in the corner of the bathroom, says Simone. Sometimes they're almost touching the ceiling. Bloody hell. Peter P says canoe lunches soon, maybe. Oh, Mark, I'm motoring. What a great idea. Boaty, we need Land Rover lunch with. Now that is a great idea. In fact, that is an absolutely brilliant idea. Yes, that would be fabulous. Land Rover lunches with. So dragging somebody out to the middle of nowhere in the Land Rover, and then we cook and eat outdoors. That would be brilliant. Mark, do you fancy it? Would you be up for that? Land Rover lunch with. Genius. Absolute genius. That would be brilliant. Mustard and I have talked about doing one. You know where we stop? You know when I go to the yard, you've all seen it a million times. You know Coombe Edge or Coombs Brow or Monk's Brow or Monk's Road. You know where I stop as you go over, and suddenly there's the view of Manchester and you can see snow down here on a good day. Mustard and I have both said that we'd like to do a lunch there one day, because there's a path where you can go and walk, and there are fields where there's public access. Obviously, there's the lay-by where we can stop and park up. But I love the idea of Land Rover lunches with. I'm going to screenshot that so I don't forget it. Barry Scrotter says, Dino Dad, the Jamaican bobsled team with Boaty and Mustard on the moors. Cool runnings and brown runnings. Oh, dear. Buying a state card and sleep in the back. I do, say Simone. Well, yeah, you might, Simone, but I don't think you're quite the same size as me. If you didn't realise, there's 6'5" of me. It would have to be a bloody great big estate car to fit me in. And Barry's done that as well. Says it's not too bad. Careful if you do a late night outside live on a hill, says Andrew. You'll fall off. Oh, dear. Especially, says the M11, if said hill is in Liverpool. If you and Mustard have... oh, God, fishing. No, I don't approve of fishing. It's just killing animals for pleasure. Oh, unless you put them back in, I suppose. But even then, it's like torturing animals. It's putting a hook in their mouth. Why would you want to do that to an animal? That's why I'm vegetarian. That's why I don't eat fish or seafood. Squirrel. I have a long veto, says Russ, and was considering videoing making it into a mini camper. Do it. Do it. That was why I bought a Ford Galaxy. I was going to turn that into a kind of day camper type thing. And I still have ideas at the back of my mind that I would love to get rid of all of the cars and swap them for a camper van. I would love to have a camper van. I've talked about that before. Never trust a fart. Hang on. Mark says travel light for wild camping, sleeping bag and a bivvy and maybe a tarp if you need extra protection. Yeah, I watched a block video last night where he just used a bivvy and a tarp. I need a little bit more than that. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I want, and bear in mind that I know nothing about tenting, and I've actually found a tent that I quite like the look of. The first thing is it's got to be the right colour. It's got to match a Land Rover. You know, let's get the important things out of the way first. And so the only things my requirements for tent are the right colour. It needs to be one open space, not have those separate bedroom things. It needs to be big enough for me. So I'm looking at 3-person tents because 3-person should be big enough for one of me. It's an open space, so you don't have the separate bedroom thing. I don't like that. But I want one with a bit of I don't know what you call it in a tent, but with a bit of a porch, you know? So you've got an area at the front of the tent that's got a ground sheet and is covered. So I could sit there and have a glass of wine or a vodka and tonic and a fag. And I did find one. I had a look on the is it Go Outdoors or Decathlon or one of those websites, just idly browsing, and I found a 3-person tent with the smoking veranda thing on it, in a kind of silvery grey that would match a Land Rover, and it was about it was a lot of money. It was about 180 quid or something like that. But I thought, well, you know, if I can find a tent that I like to look on that looks suitable, I can look on eBay and Marketplace for the same tent but second hand. God, but then I looked at the sleeping pad things. They're a bit bloody expensive, aren't they? Sodding hell, some of those were like 100 quid. But again, I suppose you can get those second hand. I mean, I've always thought the camping stuff, tenting stuff, should be good to buy second hand because you're going to get some fat idiot like me who goes, I know, I'll do some tenting. And you do it once and you think, fuck that. There's a thing called hotels. And then you just put it on Facebook for next to nothing because you know you're never going to use it again. That's what I need. Oh, and then we have started saying goodnight. Good night, darling, says Mark on motoring. You know, man. Oh, God, he's off already, the part-timer, says Barry. I've done my hour. It's only supposed to be half an hour, Friday and Saturday. I've done an hour. Leave me alone. Stop bullying me. I'm tired. I want my staff curry. God, the problem is, darlings, that when I finish a live stream, I don't just do the sensible thing and go to bed, do I? No, bear in mind, I do the live stream literally the minute that I walk in. I walk in through the door from work, set the live stream up, start the live stream. So I've not had any relaxing time or anything. So when I finish the live stream, the first thing that I do is I go upstairs, have a shower, put my night things on, come back downstairs, watch a bit of a video, catch up with a message or two, social media, whatever. Then I eat. Then I cook and then I eat. So, if I'm finishing the live stream at 1 o'clock or gone 1 o'clock, I'm not actually getting into bed until about 3:30. And then I've got things to do during the. No wonder I'm always bloody knackered. Oh dear. Well, the M11 says it's been a very anally stimulating live stream tonight. It has indeed, hasn't it? Don't worry, says Ross, as we all know, goodbyes take 3 days. Oh, yeah. And some bedtime stories, says Barry Scrotter. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. I worked for a water treatment firm once, says Simone. We found a used condom in a water tank for a sports centre. Awful. I'm doing just fine working on my 3rd novel, says Barry. Yes, Barry. Spent the morning doing jobs around the farm. What farm? I don't know anything about a farm. Went to the gym at lunch and got my next grade in kickboxing. Oh, well done, you. And Ross points out that heavy petting isn't allowed in the pool. Quite right. Oh, God, yeah. No bombing, no shouting, no heavy petting. Heavy petting. Who came in with that? Oh, good man, Mark. Mark is up for a Land Rover lunch with. Let's do that. Let's sort that out. Let's meet somewhere halfway-ish and do a proper outdoorsy day. I'd love to do that. Heavy petting, that phrase still makes me laugh. I worked for... Oh, is that BT? I worked for BT for 15 years and then moved to the States, and I've been at Pinkerton's for 5 years, says Barry. Cool, says Simone. Cool, says Barry. Cool, Simone, says Barry. I was a tanker driver for a water company. Monk's Path, that's Solihull, isn't it, Boaty? Yeah, different one. Different one. Boaty, just remember the wind noise if you do a Land Rover lunch. Oh, I'll take the microphones. I'll take the microphones. I had a Ford gut. Oh, the microphones, I mean, not wind noise. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm 5'4", says Simone. I checked yesterday. I'm a short ass. Yeah, well, you're more than a foot shorter than me. No wonder you can sleep in the back of a car. I had a Ford Galaxy Boaty, the 2.9 24-volt Cosworth engine. Very fast and comfortable. A 3-person tent is probably about right, says Barry Scrotter. Those size descriptions are so wrong. Yeah, I figured that. I figured they would be. Go outdoors, always have tents set up in stores, says Mark. I like Vango tents as there seem to be a good mix of quality and price. I did look at the Vango ones, and I did think they sounded quite good. If any of you guys know anything about tenting, please do educate me, because I know less than nothing. Don't forget the white socks and sandals when camping, Boaty. I won't forget. We bought an 8-man tent and it sleeps 4 just right, says Barry. Oh, there we are. I'd love to see Boaty trying to attempt to erect Bob the camper. It'd be like an episode of Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. I did look at trailer tents and think, but yeah. I mean, if you've got the luxury of time, like, the good Ian and Carly of Hugnut fame, then yeah. If you're going somewhere for 3 nights, it's worth setting up a trailer tent or folding camper or whatever. I would only ever be somewhere overnight. That wouldn't be worth it. I want one of those relatively easy to set up little tents, little 3-man tents that I can set up in the wild or on a campsite or something like that. I just really want to have a go at it. I just want to do at least one episode of the Blot Outdoors show, my own version of it, and see if I like it. I mean, on a really nice summer's evening, some of the places that Blot, his name's Chris, isn't it? Some of the wild places that he camps in the Lake District, that must just be amazing. Honestly, it must be amazing. It must be on a different level of wonderfulness. And I would love to do it. I mean, in an ideal world, I would like to do my wild camping in a converted van or a proper camper van. But you know, the financial situation means I'm never going to get to do that in this lifetime unless something amazing happens. So camping, it's like camping or nothing, and I don't want to turn my face to the wall and breathe my last without having tried it at least once. It looks fantastic. Have any of you done it? Do any of you do it? If so, please tell me. I need some help. Barry says, I live on a 200-acre farm with Karen. We have 70 cattle, a couple of horses, a donkey, lots of chickens, etc. I didn't realize that. God, that sounds amazing. But hang on, who looks after the farm and the cattle and the horses and the donkey and the chickens when you guys go off to Hawaii for a week? Do you have staff? Are you like Clarkson? Do you have a farm that apparently you do everything, but you actually only turn up there for 2 weeks of the year when the filming crew is there, and the rest of the time all the work is done by your lackeys? Oh, that sounds fabulous, there. I'd love that. Good night, all, says Matron. See you tomorrow, someplace or other. And a special thanks again to Andrew Buttigieg for a most excellent and unintentional breaking of me in my live stream. Sharon Jojo says, time flies by. Good night, Boaty. Enjoyed the chat. Thank you. Take care. You too, my lovely. Thank you for being here. The trouble is, if you sleep in a Vango tent, says Barry Scrotter, you wake up and want to cut your ear off. Oh, I see what you did there. Very good. Monaco Grand Prix and Indy 500 tomorrow. Enjoy all, says Barry. The Lake District is heavenly, says Barry Scrotter. I need to spend time there. I've no real experience of the Lake District. I kind of drove through once, and that was pretty much it. Mark says, I've got 2 3-man tents. One has 3 arches, but the easiest to erect and the most stable is the one with a geodesic dome. Oh, Mark, you obviously know what you're talking about. Help me out here, mate. Tell me what I should be looking for, because amazingly, I've got no idea what a geodesic dome is. I'm going to screenshot that. That might go in the title. Yes, we have farm workers, says Barry. Yes, we have a Caleb, and his name is Caleb. No joke. Is it really? What are the chances of that? Oh, and Barry goes on, there is a video on my channel of a walk, not the sweary one, where I walk around the farm. I'm going to go and check that out tonight after this. Simone is now in bed and says ta for now. Barry Scratch says camping is great given the right weather, which happens sometimes. The M11 says, if I was in a 3-man tent, I would be expecting 3 men in there. You pervert. Oh, and on your own, it should be great, the old 3-man tent thing. Right, I've reached the end of the comments. Hopefully, that guy from SETI Alpha 5 will confirm his channel name for those who'd like to check that out. I'm one of them, but I know what his channel is. But somebody's asked, so there we are. And that is that. Oh, God. 20 to 1, darlings. This is crazy, isn't it? But I wouldn't miss it for the world. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm off to get a shower, get changed, get my staff curry, finish my wine off, and eventually totter up to bed. Thank you for your lovely company. Thank you for being amazing and wonderful. Have yourselves a safe and peaceful night. I hope you sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow. Bank holiday weekend, of course, isn't it, for those of us in the UK? So take whatever joy you can from wherever you can. Take care of those you love and who love you. And if you are around, join me tomorrow night, Sunday Night Live, back to the earlier time of 11 o'clock, remember. And I really hope to see you there. Thank you again for tonight. I've loved it. I always do. Much love from me. Hopefully, see you tomorrow night. And on that note, Pachoo and a carry on camping, big bad bosh. Not working. There we are.